All right. Welcome, everybody. Here we are, the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Challenge Finals and Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards. My name is Jeff Reed. I'm the founding director of Georgetown Entrepreneurship. Very excited to be here tonight. This is always one of my favorite days of the year. We're here to showcase some of our best student entrepreneurs and also honor people who have really made an impact and a contribution to our community for the year. This is kind of our end of the year celebration, although our entrepreneurship programs at Georgetown never end. As the night goes on, you'll hear a little bit more about things that we do beyond this pitch competition. Our programs are all about helping students develop an entrepreneurial mindset, helping support the growth of alumni-led ventures, and leveraging the power of entrepreneurship beyond the Georgetown community. We actually believe entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful forces for positive social change that the world has ever seen. So we're excited to be here tonight. We're going to hear from some amazing student entrepreneurs and some other fun stuff as we go. Okay, so I want to thank the teams who've entered. We had over 80 teams compete this year, but I also want to thank the judges. You know, we've had a bunch of judging panels over the last few weeks who have helped narrow down to our 12 finalists. And tonight's judging panel is made up of some amazing Georgetown alumni and parents and just awesome people. And I'm going to give a quick introduction for each of them. First, we have Laura Ferris Anderson. Laura runs Chicago's entrepreneurship scene from her role at JP Morgan. She's a big part of the entrepreneurial community there with her involvement with 1871 and other incubators. She's been on the boards of several companies and organizations, a 3-time graduate of Georgetown from the School of Language and Linguistics, McCourt School of Public Policy, and the MBA program. So thank you, Laura. Peter Buchanan is the managing director of New Plan. It's a boutique strategy and corporate development firm for high growth companies. Peter has founded 3 companies, executed over 300 strategic planning engagements for growth in middle market companies. Peter is a savant when it comes to business plans and helping companies grow. He's also the parent of a Georgetown alum. Troy Bullock. Troy is a co-founder of Good, a conglomerate of social impact organizations addressing the most challenging issues affecting low-income communities in Washington, D.C. Troy is gearing up to begin a graduate program at another little university in Pennsylvania starting this fall. He's a graduate of Georgetown College, class of 2016. Thanks, Troy. Marley Major is the boss at the Party Goddess, a business she founded, a full-service event planning and catering company. She has been in the events industry for over 20 years and has planned parties for a diverse range of clients, whether it's Whole Foods or Rolls-Royce or Snoop Dogg or Britney Spears. She's a graduate of the McDonough School of Business, class of 1991. Thank you, Marley. Next, we have Ray Peloso, president and CEO of Catabat, a cloud-based customer management solutions firm. Ray's career as a finance executive is informed by over 20 years of operational and leadership experience at a variety of financial institutions. He's a graduate of Georgetown College, class of 1988, and an MBA from Georgetown School, McDonough School of Business, class of 1992. Kimberly Riley, co-founder of Everybody Water, a woman-owned Boston-based business selling premium water in cartons, supporting clean water projects for people around the world, a graduate of the School of Languages and Linguistics, class of 1995. Thank you so much, Kim. Bob Seidler, who, as a side note, I just learned today, was a neighbor of Marley's growing up. I already knew Bob was a roommate of Ray Peloso when they were in college together. Beyond those 2 amazing facts, Bob is also the co-founder and managing partner of Seidler Equity Partners. He spent over 25 years seeking, partnering with, and supporting owner-operated businesses as they look to preserve their cultures while taking advantage of their growth potential. He's active in business development and new company investment. He's a graduate of Georgetown College, class of 1998. And finally, Danny Wright is a chief operating officer at 1863 Ventures. It's the #1 national business development nonprofit for new majority entrepreneurs. Previously, Danny was co-founder of Good, along with Troy and another classmate of theirs from Georgetown. And that Good continues to work hard to solve problems affecting low-income communities in Washington, D.C. Danny's now specializing in business strategy, designing and executing solutions that drive social change for those most in need. A graduate of the college, class of 2015, the School of Arts and Sciences Graduate School, class of 2016, School of Continuing Studies, class of 2018, and McCourt School of Public Policy, class of 2020. Danny, I had no idea you had so many Georgetown degrees. Okay, thank you once again to all of our judges. Your job's going to be hard tonight. We have amazing student teams. So moving on to what our judges are going to be doing tonight, you can see on your screen the judging criteria. They have score sheets that include these criteria, and they're going to be rating each team based on their evaluation of feasibility, the strength of the team, how well the team incorporates Georgetown's Jesuit values, and then overall, how well did this team pitch, present, persuade? So those are the judging criteria that the judges are going to be evaluating on. All right, so the prizes, we have $56,000 on the line tonight in cash and in-kind prizes. We have an undergraduate division and a graduate division, each of which will have a winner with a $10,000 prize and a second place team with $2,500 prize. The other 4 teams in each division will receive $1,000 for being a finalist. We do have an amazing tech services prize worth $20,000 in services offered by AppDrop. One of the founders of AppDrop will be here later to explain a little bit more about what that's all about. But I can tell you AppDrop is a company that helps student entrepreneurs build their businesses and achieve their dreams. So that's going to be fun. We have a special prize offered by an alum named Joe Pelton, which will be awarded to the team which has the strongest environmental impact. So we thank Joe for the Pelton Environmental Prize. And then the People's Choice Award. You as an audience will get a chance to vote on that, and we'll explain how that'll work later. But as you watch these pitches, think about it, who you like the best. That's the one prize that all 12 teams will compete for. So it doesn't matter, there'll be one winner for both the graduate and undergraduate division for People's Choice Award. Okay, so one other thing you're going to hear about tonight is our Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards. You can see on the screen what our categories are. This is just a great way for us to honor and recognize people who've made a huge impact in our community this year. So between the team pitches, you'll hear me and some of my colleagues come in and tell you more about these awards. With that, I'm going to now turn it over to the MC who's going to take us through the student pitches. So he'll introduce himself a little bit more, but I want to thank him for being here and turn it over now to Dominic Palumbo. Dominic, over to you.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. And hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. Thank you for coming out to the 2021 finals of the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Challenge. My name is Dominic Palumbo, and I will be your host or MC for this evening, and I'm a junior in the School of Foreign Service. And I'm absolutely honored to be serving in this role as we view some amazing pitches from our finalists and also give out our 2021 Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards. So our evening will first begin with undergraduate pitches. So we will first have charting history, college deposit insurance, re-philanthropy, convenient compost, act worldly, and merged med. We will also be presenting our Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards for Outstanding Entrepreneurship Faculty, Outstanding Mentors, and Undergraduate Entrepreneur of the Year. Following our undergraduate presentations, we will then screen our graduate student pitches, and those will begin with Cradle, followed by Narazio Technologies, Homemade in DC, Kitchen with a Mission, Budelli, and then MMCs. And I've seen many of these pitches in our early rounds, so I'm very excited for all of you to be seeing these in the finals. And we will share our Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards for our Outstanding Entrepreneurial Leaders and Graduate Student Entrepreneur of the Year. And then we will conduct our poll for the People's Choice Awards, so you can all submit your vote on the People's Choice Awards, and then conclude with the winners of this evening. So without further ado, we will get started with our first undergraduate pitch of the night. which is Charting History by Kai Isaiah.
My name is Kai Isaiah, and this is Charting History, an app, Chrome extension, and add-on. So a little bit about me. I'm currently a junior at Georgetown University. I'm the president of a student-run club, and I also work part-time. So trying to figure out how to balance studying as well as extracurriculars and employment was extremely challenging, and that is why I created Charting History. So on average, college students spend about 10 to 15 hours per week in class, and in addition, 17 to 24 hours studying. That might be using flashcards, taking notes via pen and paper, or even investing time and money into things like tablets and things of that nature. So in developing study habits, sometimes time is wasted. Students feel overwhelmed with all of the methods that they're trying to learn what fits best for them. And that is actually where charting history comes into play. So who we are for is students who are looking to develop effective study habits and want to spend less time reorganizing or transcribing notes and get the most out of their time studying. What we offer is an app, a Chrome extension, and add-on that creates timelines, flashcards, charts, study sheets, and quizzes that will fit the learner's style. And it will be pulled from notes, PowerPoints, and additional documents that they might have from class or provided from professors. Further, it will chart designated data that is chosen by the user. So that might include important terms, dates, major events, titles, things of that nature, so students can really retain what it is that they're learning. And further, charting history is compatible with Google Docs, Sheets, Forms, and PowerPoint. So to give some more context to the situation, this past semester, I was in a history course where 2.5 hours per week, I was taking lecture notes, trying to get down what the professor said, but also transcribe what was said in correlation to the 65 slides that we were given per week. And so a lot of my time studying was just trying to compile the information into one place so I could prepare for an exam, prepare for a paper, and things of that nature. And this is where charting history would help. What it does is it pulls dates, maybe bolded or specific terms or whatever the user may identify as important. And they're then able to pick the output or format. So that might be, in my situation, a timeline would have been incredibly helpful for both papers and exams, but it could be a chart, it could be flashcards, whatever the user might see best fit for their course, for their learning style, and things of that nature. So about our business model, first and foremost, software development is our foundation, what is most important. We want to make sure that we have something that is efficient and effective and pay folks in doing so, as well as marketing and branding. So that's part of our revenue structure or our cost structure. And then next we have user acquisition. So that's making sure that we can reach as many students as we can and other users who would benefit from our app. That might include partnerships with organizations or other educational institutions. Further, revenue streams are first and foremost very important. We want to make sure that not only are we accessible, but are we profitable? So we will have a free subscription as well as a premium subscription that will be about $10.99 per month. Further, we'll have a limited feature add-on to make sure that students who might not be able to afford it do have access and the ability to still learn in ways that would support them. Then further, we want to continue to grow. We want to ideally hit fields beyond education, and whether that be supporting folks in business or other career fields in the future. So also, why charting history? What is great about our program, about our service, is that we provide timelines, flashcards, and quizzes. It is all automated, so the students don't have to do the shifting through or sifting through information, and it puts all of the multiple study tools into one easy and accessible place to help with both organization and to keep students from feeling overwhelmed. So then let's discuss traction. After conducting 10 college student discovery interviews, I found that it was useful for students of all backgrounds and level of involvement, because first and foremost, retaining the information, knowing what they were learning and being able to reflect on it in conversation, exams, and papers was key for all students. And further, it is a new and unique product that will have an impact on all learners' individual achievement and success, and fit their specific study habits and let them explore and develop what study habits work best for them. So today we're asking you to join us in transforming the way that we study and take notes, because joy and learning must coexist. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai, for that wonderful presentation on charting history. As a student and club leader and student worker, I totally understand where you got that idea from. So thank you so much. And now for a quick entrepreneurship fact. As we all know, Hoyas love to eat. And from Halo Top to Sweet Green to Kitu Coffee and more, Georgetown is known for churning out successful startups in the food and beverage industry. Of course, we have smaller, high-growth food startups like Maspanada, Wild Willette, fruit-flavored beef jerky, as well as Misfit Foods. In fact, Misfit was just on Shark Tank a few weeks ago to pitch their products, which makes sausage that is 50% meat and 50% vegetables. So there's really no telling where you'll end up when you start your entrepreneurial journey at Georgetown. And now we will screen our second undergraduate pitch of the evening, which is College Deposit Insurance by Blake Gattuso.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for taking the time to be here this evening. My name is Blake Gattuso and I'm a first-year undergraduate in the MSB. I will be taking you through the value proposition behind my venture, College Deposit Insurance. The mission of College Deposit Insurance is simple: to decrease stress and increase choice in the college process for all students. Likewise, the execution is simple, with a specialty insurance product that supports this mission, opening up doors and breaking down barriers for prospective college students. The best way to sell College Deposit Insurance is to take you all through an example. So, meet Jack. Jack is a high school senior who has preferences about where he wants to go to college. Additionally, he requires significant financial aid, and an extra $500 bill would be challenging for his family. This last point will become relevant in short order, but is not necessary for customers of CDI. This is Jack's path. Jack applies to 5 schools and is accepted twice, denied twice, and waitlisted once. He chooses his school out of his 2 choices and submits a non-refundable deposit before May 1st, the universal decision day. Soon after, Jack hears back from his waitlisted school. He's been admitted off the waitlist. However, an extra deposit is required, and Jack decides that rather than create an even larger financial burden, he will stick with his original school, foregoing his other opportunity. Clearly, this is a problem. Jack wasn't able to go to a school that he earned his way into for no fault of his own. It is simply a failure of the system that does not allow Jack to pursue his dreams. He was forced to decide between an extra financial burden and a foregone opportunity. College Deposit Insurance removes this decision. CDI charges a $25 premium during the application process, and in exchange, CDI will insure a student's deposit to a once waitlisted school up to $500. With CDI in their back pocket, students can feel confident submitting their deposit, even at schools that prioritize housing for earlier deposits, with the peace of mind knowing that they will still have the financial freedom to accept a waitlist offer after May 1st. So let's check back in on Jack after he enrolled in CDI. When he was applying to schools, he paid a $25 premium and submitted the names of the schools to which he was applying. The results turned out the same, except when offered admission off the waitlist this time, he had the coverage of CDI that allowed him the freedom to make whichever decision he chooses. I want to emphasize something here, though. Jack's story could apply to anyone of any financial background. As we'll see shortly, even students who can afford the extra deposit feel inclined to use CDI. Now that Jack's taken care of, let's take a look at what's going on behind the scenes at CDI. We have a total addressable market of 2.1 million students who go to college every year. This corresponds to $52.5 million in potential revenue annually. Since we collect premiums in the application process, students do not know whether they are going to be waitlisted. Thus, our market is all college-bound students who see the $25 premium to potentially save $500 as a smart financial decision. With rising waitlist rates, now sitting around 15% of all students, the waitlist is a concern on the mind of nearly every student. However, results from CDI's extensive research of more than 100 schools over 5 years shows that an average of 0.64% of all applications are admitted off waitlists, thus making the $25 price target achievable. While some marketing must be done to the parents of these students, it's important to get this product in the hands of the students themselves, as nearly 90% have some fiscal responsibility in their college education. In a sample of over 200 students collected by CDI, nearly 70% of students indicated that this is a product for which they would be willing to pay, even students where that $500 is not especially burdening. Thus, the market is there, the struggle is getting the product in their hands. Struggle no longer. Our go-to-market strategy consists of 2 application services that could potentially partner with CDI. The Common App reaches over 1 million students annually, and I've been in recurring contact with its head of business development after a response from a cold email to the CEO. This would be the most efficient way to reach our target market, but other options like working through admissions departments in high schools have been explored. In terms of money that could be made by this venture, the numbers are quite predictable, and I predicted them with a 5-year income statement model. If you recall, we found that just over 0.6% of all students would be admitted off a waitlist. For the sake of conservatism in these estimates, we suggested that nearly 4 times that, 2% of customers would be admitted off of waitlists and need claims paid. Still, we find ourselves with a profitable model from year 1. Likewise, we assume that each of these claims was filed for the maximum coverage of $500, which in practice is not likely. In terms of competition, there are no products like CDI. There is a serious college products market, but nothing like CDI. When we succeed, we see potential competitors in the established educational insurance companies, but are confident that our partnerships will allow us to remain atop the market. Additionally, the model works as seen with companies like AIG Travel partnering with sites like Expedia. We hope to integrate to become simply a one-click sign-up for our insurance, just like AIG has done. To bring it home, let me remind you of our mission: to decrease stress and increase choice in the college process. We are a unique product that fills an important need, thereby making college more accessible and equitable for all. We forecast consistent profitability with annual revenue streams, and we are doing good for business while doing good for the world. And we hope that the story of Jack and the untold stories of thousands of others resonates with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Blake, for your presentation on college deposit insurance. As an employee of Georgetown admissions, we're actually at that point in the timeline where a lot of students are currently on the wait list. And I spoke to a few today, just clawing at any chance to figure out how they can get off that wait list. So this is definitely relevant to where we are right now. And judges, I would just like to quickly remind you all to submit the scores after each of our pitches. So during this in-between time between our presentations. And now we will also move on to one of our Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards, the Outstanding Faculty Award. So I will now pass off the mic to Ben Zimmerman, who is Managing Director of Georgetown Entrepreneurship.
Thanks, Dom. You gotta mute. Oops. Sorry. Thank you, Dom. I'm proud to extend the Outstanding Entrepreneurship Faculty Award to Professor John Jabara, who John's an adjunct professor and the curriculum lead advisor for business and entrepreneurship for the School of Continuing Studies at Georgetown University in the Bachelor of Arts of Liberal Studies program. You know, he single-handedly advanced the footprint of entrepreneurship education at the School of Continuing Studies over the past 2 academic years. He teaches new venture creation and the introduction to entrepreneurship courses to dozens of students each semester, and receives raving reviews. So we're really, really lucky to have John as a, a trailblazer in the School of Continuing Studies. He also has published 2 books in the past 2 years. Not sure where he found the time to do it, but they've been thriving, particularly on Amazon, and you can find them there yourself. The first is Mastering Customer Interviews for Entrepreneurs, the fastest way to great customer feedback. And then the second is Mastering Social Impact for Entrepreneurs, Transform Your Lean Startup with Social Impact. They're must reads if you are in the entrepreneurship space, and they're also used in startup classrooms and incubators, including our very own here at Georgetown University and nationwide. So you'd be remiss if you didn't extend at least an outreach to John. He's an EIR, an entrepreneur in residence with us as well. You can find him on our website if you're curious, and this well-deserved award goes a long way to saying thank you to John. So thanks again. Back to you, Dom.
Thank you, Ben. And we will now move on to our third pitch of the evening.
You're muted, Don.
Oh, I don't think I'm muted. Can you hear me? Hopefully. Well, we will now move on to our third pitch of tonight, which is Re-Philanthropy by Brandon.
You're still muted, Dom.
How about now?
Okay.
Dom, I can hear you just fine. Keep going.
All right, well, we will now move on to Rephilanthropy. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brandon Lee, and today I'll be talking about my pitch called Rephilanthropy. The current problem is that 550 million shampoo bottles are ending up in landfills each year, and that's only in the United States. Additionally, soap bars, or the alternative to plastic shampoo bottles, are becoming less popular, in turn becoming a less feasible alternative geared towards sustainability. Thus, the solution to this issue requires a sustainable product that still meets the current demand of these single-use plastic shampoo bottles. So when we specifically look at the shampoo market, it's quite obvious that shampoo is ultimately an inelastic good, meaning there will always be a consistent demand for it. However, this demand is actually increasing since personal care is becoming more prioritized and popular in mainstream media. So when we look at the graphs on the right, it's clear that the demand for shampoo has steadily increased throughout the years. But along with it, the production of these plastic bottles has become more complex and extremely expensive for these companies, resulting in a significant financial burden. At the same time, on the consumer side, shampoo prices are increasing since the product is shifting from more of a necessity to a luxury. So as these products are becoming more nuanced and luxurious, the prices are increasing along with it. And so my value proposition is Rephilanthropy. This product is a shampoo refill station that would be stationed in major grocery stores where consumers can scan the barcode on their shampoo bottle and easily refill their product within seconds. Rephilanthropy is unique because you are essentially cutting out one-use plastic bottles completely out of the equation because you are going to be reusing that bottle after that first purchase. Additionally, it is a cheaper option for both companies and consumers since you are eliminating the significant financial burden that results from the production of these plastic bottles, while also reducing the price for consumers since they are only paying for the shampoo product itself. So shampoo is not only going to be cheaper for consumers, but it will also save companies substantial costs when it comes to bottle production, being a huge incentive for both parties to participate. But third and most importantly, it's because Rephilanthropy has a nonprofit/philanthropic branch that we really set ourselves apart from our competitors. When it comes to our philanthropy approach, our mission is to mitigate human impact on the climate. So by cutting out these bottles and reducing the 550 million plastic bottles that end up in landfills each year, we are directly helping curb environmental degradation. But also, we would use our profits to work with local and national nonprofit organizations in mitigating climate change and helping environmental conservation finally come into fruition, especially within the hair care industry. So our overall purpose is to decrease shampoo prices for consumers as well as the cost for manufacturing companies, while promoting sustainability and raising awareness by actively curbing environmental degradation, setting a huge precedent within the hair care industry. Our business model is that we partner with shampoo companies first, whether it's Dove, Garnier, or any other popular shampoo brand, to get the product supply to literally fill our refill stations. We then partner with major stores such as Target and Walmart to establish these stations so that customers can easily access them. Thus, the profit is derived from payment from both businesses for selling their product and from stores for setting up these stations at these stores and ultimately drawing customers into them. When we talk about competitive analysis, right off the bat, our sustainable focus brings environmental awareness finally into the hair care market. As of now, the hair care industry doesn't really have a sustainable focus, so we would finally be the first to do that. By eliminating the constant production of new plastic bottles, we cut both production costs as well as the manufacturing time, which is a key financial incentive for both consumers and producers. Ultimately, there's no product that is similar at all to Rephilanthropy. Just looking at it from a visual perspective again, sustainability, lower cost, and a philanthropy approach truly has never been done in the hair care industry, which finally sets us apart from possible competitors. And after completing 50 customer discovery interviews, all 50 participants noted their positive review of Rephilanthropy, with 96% of respondents indicating an active interest in utilizing a Rephilanthropy shampoo refill station if they truly were to become available, which indicates already a strong initial demand and interest in our product. And finally, just a little bit about me. I'm a freshman in the college studying government and psychology, and thank you for listening to my pitch of Rephilanthropy.
Thank you, Brandon, for your pitch. And now for our Georgetown Entrepreneurship fact number 42. Over the past 3 years, more than 80% of our pitch competition prize money has been awarded to women and minority-led ventures. While this is not something that we at the Entrepreneurship Initiative can truly take credit for per se, it is definitely a testament to the incredible strength and diversity of our entrepreneurship community within Georgetown, which only continues to grow and thrive, especially over my time here at Georgetown the last 3 years. We've really seen this take off. So this has really been amazing to see, and we view our program as a megaphone for the fabulous work done by our student and alumni entrepreneurs, and we look forward to many more years of supporting our community. And just a quick reminder to our judges to get our scores in for each of our pitches. And we will now transition on to our fourth undergraduate pitch of the evening, which will be, by full disclosure, a good friend of mine, Gracie Owen, who will be pitching her venture, Convenient Compost.
My sister's version of composting is leaving her food scraps out for me to deal with. So when I tell her to handle them herself, this is the face that I get. I mean, it's true disgust even at the thought of touching our compost bin. And that's the problem. There's no great method. I should know, I've tried 6. That's why I created Convenient Compost, to give consumers an indoor composting solution that they can finally fall in love with. So why composting anyway? Worldwide, annual food waste emits 185 billion tons of methane every year, and this is a greenhouse gas that is 78 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Being a critical defense against climate change, composting is crucial, and this is why Convenient Compost is prioritizing the following Jesuit values. Service to the planet by spurring collective action through sustainable consumerism. Justice, because climate change disproportionately burdens minorities, the disabled community, and low-income individuals. And inclusivity, by making environmentalism accessible and equitable for all. Current bins range between $15 and $60. Most require filters and compostable bags costing an additional $30 a year. And these bags rip every time, as demonstrated by my roommate, Charlie. Those without bags require scrubbing, leaving ruined sponges and a loss of appetite. There are dozens of competitors, and yet none are meeting consumer needs. In fact, over 50% of the 65 composters I interviewed hated their first method, proving the inadequacy of the market. Using the lean startup method, I interviewed composters to assess their pain points. I learned consumers want an affordable, space-saving product that is easy to clean and repels bugs and odors. I followed up until I landed on a final design concept in which 98% of respondents said they'd purchase. The product is a triple threat. It is the disruptor that we need. Here it is. My 100% surgical grade silicone and leak-proof bag is stored in the freezer. Air can be easily pushed out to condense down to only require as much room as its contents, which can top 1.5 gallons. To dispose of the food scraps, just turn it over, pop out the contents, and throw it in the dishwasher for full cleaning with its 180-degree opening mouth. No more bugs, odor, recurring costs, or messes. For patent reasons, the design here shown is rudimentary and excludes the zipper, but is intended to give you a general idea of its appearance and functionality without jeopardizing my intellectual property. To remove the intimidation of composting and increase scale, the product is linked to an app which has 3 main components. A search engine to determine what is and is not compostable. Secondly, a discovery map to identify where individuals can drop off their food scraps. Here, pickup services may pay me a referral fee for every new customer I help them acquire, providing a second revenue stream for myself and addressing food scrap collection and disposal all in one company. And finally, community opportunities to increase equitable access to composting, provide special offers with our partners, and a communal messaging board. My integrating marketing strategy is guaranteed to capture significant market share. The name of the game is partnerships. I'm a one-woman show, but don't let that intimidate you, as I'm currently the director of sustainability for a $5 million annual revenue company. And I already have 3 partnerships underway with composting services for pilot programs. I will also leverage my network within food waste prevention organizations and university green teams. E-commerce through my own website and Amazon will be utilized as well, followed by brick and mortar retailers. My cost is $350 per unit shipped. Selling expenses through e-commerce platforms will be $5 a unit, and retailer margins will require $9.50 per unit. With an intended price point of $27, the profit margin will be 50%, which will rise to 72% with scale. I also plan to initially cover shipping for e-commerce sales to acquire customers, but will shed that cost very quickly. The market potential is endless. 28% of American households compost, and 67% of those that do not would be willing to if it were easy and affordable. The indoor compost bin market is expected to grow by $330 million at a compounded annual growth rate of 6%. Simultaneously, the US government is funneling an average of 239% more annual funding into composting access and education through 2030. Both markets are important for convenient compost success and are expected to take off. I hope to finish MBB testing in the next 3 months. From there, I will begin manufacturing my finalized commercial prototype before launching my pre-order website. The $10,000 would handle prototyping, manufacturing, and advertising. Additionally, AppDrop's custom app development, branding tools, and strategic part planning offerings will give me the tools I need to bring the convenient compost app to full fruition. The money and app services are essential to fight climate change and provide an equitable composting solution for all. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you, Gracie, for your pitch on convenient compost. And composting is something that we've seen increase on campus, but as a student of sustainability and have a lot of friends who love the environment, it's definitely something that we all collectively need to work on. So thank you so much for your pitch. And now it is time for our second Entrepreneurial Excellence Award, the Outstanding Mentor Award. Here to present the award is Callie Jacobs, who is the manager of our Georgetown Venture Lab.
Hi everyone, I'm very excited to present this year's Outstanding Mentor Award to two of our stellar entrepreneurs in residence, Howard Eisenberg and Ryan Croft. As some of you may have heard, the first ever Georgetown Startup Accelerator wrapped up last week after 9 weeks of intense programming. Howard helped spearhead this program as co-director, and his extraordinary commitment to the accelerator really ensured its success. I personally can't thank him enough for everything he's done over the last year, and the GE team is so grateful for his immense dedication and support as an EIR. In just his first year as an EIR, Ryan has truly gone above and beyond as a mentor. He's dove in headfirst, getting deeply involved by coaching dozens of students, engaging in our Alumni Accelerator as a mentor and a speaker, and has simply brought a tremendous amount of value to our program in a short amount of time. We are really lucky to have you on our team, Ryan. Congratulations and thank you both, Howard and Ryan, for your hard work and dedication. This award is very well deserved. I'd also like to thank our amazing mentors in our EIR program as a whole, as their support is very much appreciated as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Callie, and congratulations to Howard and Ryan. And we will now move on to our fifth undergraduate pitch of the evening, which is Act Worldly by Betsy Ratliff and Nora Bolster.
Good evening. We are happy to introduce you to Act Worldly, the social media platform dedicated to the many ways people are getting involved in different causes. We are moving people from inaction to impact through Act Worldly. My name is Betsy Ratliff, and I am the founder and CEO of Act Worldly and a sophomore at Georgetown University. Nora Bolster is my partner and CFO, also a sophomore at Georgetown. Nearly a year ago, I was feeling overwhelmed as a global pandemic took away my first year of college. And as 2020 continued, the world saw tremendous loss and devastation. Growing calls for racial justice, a climate crisis on our doorstep, and glaring gaps in gender equity were just some of the causes the world was struck with. I realized that there was a major problem: inaction.
After conducting a small questionnaire, we found that many were facing similar problems. On the one hand, charity organizers and impact scales have helped people find the most effective ways to get involved. And on the other, social media has allowed people to share the causes they care the most about. But there still is a gap between these two that force people either to not act on the social impact causes they're sharing about, or to not share about the things they're acting on. In a time of immense chaos, when the world needs to come together the most, people did not know how to help. And several factors seem to play into this overall activation problem, which only perpetuates this gap. Although posting on social media and educating yourself is an important place to start, we know that the job cannot stop with a hashtag.
The time to act is now, and the job is ours. That's why today we're asking you and everyone to act worldly. Think of Act Worldly as your LinkedIn profile for how you're acting on the most pressing social issues in the world, and combine that with effective ways to educate yourself on these causes, all while building a community. There are 3 easy steps that will make Act Worldly a simple platform. And over the summer, we partnered with a UX and UI designer to help us build out our idea.
First, the user will be able to discover ways to donate, volunteer, or engage with the cause of their choice. Once they've discovered ways to get involved with the cause, they can act directly from our site. Not to mention that they will find our Act Worldly Impact Report written by our future content team, which tells them how their action will directly impact the cause. Finally, once a user has completed an action, they will share their impact with the Worldly community. Users can send thank yous to each other, which is similar to giving an Instagram post a like.
Act Worldly plans to initially target our Georgetown community to get users on our platform. As members of a Jesuit university, Georgetown students are uniquely aware of their duty to be men and women for others. We plan on capitalizing on this and using grassroots marketing tactics. As well, we plan on setting up campus ambassadors to help promote our platform and eventually expand that program to other campuses. We believe that Act Worldly platform will be suitable for any age, but because we are initially targeting college campuses, we found that millennials and Generation Zers are invigorated to give back now more than ever. Not to mention, the market for a platform like Act Worldly is there and ready for our company, as the impact investing market has seen exponential growth in the last few years, in addition to the already large social media market.
Once we get our initial users, we see that Act Worldly will be uniquely suited for multiple revenue streams. In our first few years, we will focus on selling advertising space, allowing companies to pay us to sponsor their events, and even the possibility of including premium accounts on the platform. We have modeled our own business after other social media platforms, specifically Instagram, and we are hoping to build this out further with mentorship in the future. We believe organizations and businesses will partner with us over another platform for more targeted giving back needs. With low launch costs and multiple revenue streams, we will start to see the generation of net revenue quickly after launch.
Moreover, Act Worldly will curate and vet all opportunities to make sure our community members are making a real impact. Our combination of different platforms gives us a unique competitive advantage. So today, the Act Worldly team is asking that you help us make an impact, and that starts with the $10,000 on the line in this pitch competition. We are first and foremost seeking funds as we move forward to tackle the next phase of our venture that will allow us to launch our platform by the end of the summer. The first of our funds will be dedicated to hiring a web developer or partnering with AppDrop, as our primary focus is getting the app to a launchable spot. The next use of our funds will be dedicated to marketing our platform and building a team dedicated to content, user experience, finances, and more. And as our first year of work on our project has come to an end, we know we have the passion and experience for this venture, and we are more excited than ever to continue our work. The time of inaction is over. The time of impact is now. And Act Worldly is the answer. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Betsy and Nora, for your wonderful presentation on Act Worldly. You guys are clearly Hoyas for others, so we love to see that. And for another one of our Georgetown Entrepreneurship facts, the Sweet Green founders, Nathaniel Rue, Nicholas Jammet, and Jonathan Neiman, honed their startup skills in our Management 220 Foundations of Entrepreneurship course. And this course is actually still running and is offered to our undergraduate students, but we have plenty of entrepreneurship courses also taught at the MBA level as well. So this fall, which seems a little bit far away, but registration is creeping up quickly. So some of the courses that you can register for include Management 580, which is Understanding Entrepreneurship, Management 571, which is Lean Startup Principles, and FineC 576, Entrepreneurial Finance and Venture Capital. So that's just to name a few of the many, many courses that are offered to students interested in entrepreneurial classes, whether you are an undergrad or a grad student. So we will now move on to our sixth and final undergraduate pitch of the evening. And this one is Merged Med by Pia Batia and Maya Salardi.
Welcome to Merged Med, a one-stop hub for caretakers. Hi, I'm Maya.
And I'm Pia.
And together we are the Merged Med team. We are two college roommates and Georgetown seniors who really care about making medicine more equitable. My role in this project is to focus on the business side of things. I've worked on marketing, B2B corporate startups, early stage investment, and website development. I'm going to law school in the fall to practice the legal components of business and technology. My mom is also a caretaker, and I've learned a lot about the challenges of the profession. And I'm a physics major with experience working in the medical sector from both a research perspective and a customer care perspective. I've spent many years working in a private medical practice in Staten Island, New York, and have done significant coding and tech work for the practice. My dad is a physician, and my mom has experience as a caretaker for her elderly parents for over 20 years. In this way, Maya and I are the perfect team for this venture. Our product is Merged Med, a one-stop hub for caretakers. It offers medical records with the touch of a screen. Through Merged Med, caregivers can keep track of patients' medical records and prescriptions, regardless of insurance company or healthcare provider. Merged Med also allows caregivers to interface directly with participating physicians and insurance companies for increased ease of care. Merged Med can be accessed on your phone, computer, or tablet. Its easy-to-use interface allows users to find records and find them fast. The privacy of your healthcare records is of the utmost importance to us, and we are committed to securing your data beyond the minimum HIPAA requirements. Merged Med is truly about democratizing access to data. Why now? The future of telehealth is here. The coronavirus pandemic irreversibly changed health and healthcare. We live in a moment where people expect to have medical care at the touch of their fingertips, and they should have it. Merged Med enters this space at the perfect time. Telehealth is already valued at $60 billion and is projected to grow to nearly $560 billion by 2027. It's important that we not leave behind our most vulnerable and those who look out for them, their caretakers. The market is full of data-driven technologies like Mint or your everyday banking app. It's also being flooded with the newest telehealth options like Healthiest You or our very own One Medical that Georgetown uses. Merged Med stands apart from the existing market options because we are establishing ourselves outside of healthcare services. We don't offer medical advice or treatment. What we do offer is a partnership with healthcare providers to facilitate a caretaker's ability to work with patients and physicians from multiple hospitals and offices. We are focused on caretakers and those who they care for, your grandparent, your parent, or your child. Most people will need a caretaker at some point in their lives. Merged Med is there to support caregivers in all that they do. Who are our customers? We plan to sell our product to caregiving agencies and private caregivers. Physicians can pay for subscription-based access to interface directly with caregivers, saving them time and money as compared to working with traditional paper forms, faxes, and telephone calls. My dad's a physician. He spends much of his time sending patient records to other doctors, repeating medical information to patients and then their caregivers, and a tool like Merged Med would be well worth his while. My mom cares for a woman with dementia. The woman cannot remember most visits to the doctor, and it becomes nearly impossible to sort out her prescriptions and diagnoses, especially from before. A product like Merged Med would offer my mom and other private caretakers the opportunity to consolidate information and to keep up to date on those records and the records of those who they care for. Our revenue model is simple: B2B and B2C. Merged Med would sell their product to caretaking agencies and physicians. Merged Med could also be sold directly to private caretakers who may not be affiliated with a business, but would like to have the option to organize the medical data of their loved ones. In order to get Merged Med off the ground, we will need to partner with software developers to do front-end app design as well as back-end data storage and privacy. In the future, we look forward to growing Merged Med's partnerships and envision Merged Med expanding to interface with insurance companies, pharmacies, and Medicare and Medicaid. Thank you for your time. We hope you're as excited about Merged Med as we are.
Thank you, Merged Med. Thank you, Pia and Maya. And I really love that music at the end of your pitch. So I will now pass off the mic to Jeff, who is back to present our third Entrepreneurial Excellence Award, the Undergraduate Entrepreneur of the Year Award.
Thank you, Dominic. Well, this is amazing. I really enjoyed watching these 6 pitches. I know our judges are filling out those forms. Pretty soon we'll get to our graduate division. But for now, I want to present the Undergraduate Entrepreneur of the Year Award. This award goes to an undergraduate student who has performed very well as an entrepreneur over the last year and added a tremendous amount to our community. In this case, the award goes to Rebecca Cox, who is a sophomore in the School of Foreign Service. She was a champion in last year's Georgetown Entrepreneurship Challenge. She was also one of our top prize-winning champions in the Bark Tank event last fall. Her business, Project OLAS, is continuing to grow with new revenue partnerships with universities and a B2B model. She has more than a dozen families in Guatemala that are depending on her business as a language learning product. And she's making a huge impact with Americans learning conversational Spanish, and an impact in Guatemala with moms who are employed making a difference there. So I can also report that less than an hour ago, Rebecca was named a Powerhouse 8 finalist in the Texas Christian University Values and Ventures competition, which is a nationwide startup pitch competition. So with all she's done so far and all we expect her to accomplish, we congratulate Rebecca Cox as our 2021 Undergraduate Entrepreneur of the Year. Thank you and congratulations, Rebecca. So now while we kind of get ready for the graduate competition, I'm going to talk about a couple of the programs that we do here at Georgetown. For any undergraduate student, I want to ask, are you ready to kickstart your career? We invite you to apply for our Georgetown Startup Interns program. We think working as an intern in a startup can be one of the most valuable and impactful life experiences you can have while in school. Learn what it's like to be on the inside of a startup and use that knowledge to maybe someday start your own. Our Georgetown Startup Interns offers internships, whether it's summer, which we're now accepting applications for, or during the fall or spring semesters. We give students an amazing experience working within a startup. Sometimes it's remote. We think some of these will become in person in the near future. We have in-depth skills workshops, career coaching, personalized for each student, and a cohort of motivated students just like you. So you can register for an information session or learn more at the URL here at the bottom of the screen, eship.georgetown.edu/SGI. Think about a startup intern. For everyone out there, if you love these stories about Georgetown entrepreneurs, we really encourage you to check out our Venture Forward podcast. It features in-depth interviews with the most interesting and inspiring student and alumni entrepreneurs at Georgetown. It's a chance to hear from founders from well-known brands such as Halo Top Ice Cream, Spindrift Sparkling Water, as well as up-and-coming entrepreneurs who are launching companies right out of Georgetown or sometimes while they're still in school. We invite you to take out your phone right now, subscribe using Apple's podcast or Spotify to Georgetown's Venture Forward podcast. So I'm going to now turn it over to Callie Jacobs, our amazing Venture Lab manager, to tell you a little bit about our programs for alumni. Over to you, Callie.
Thanks, Jeff. Hi, everyone again. I'm here just to emphasize that there's such a wide variety of resources and programs available to support alumni entrepreneurs, whether that's through the Georgetown Venture Lab, the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Alliance, or the Georgetown Angel Investment Network. Whether or not you're going to be an alum in just a couple of months, or if you left the Hilltop 10 years ago, we are here to support you as an alumni entrepreneur. And please just don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything we can do to help support you or your venture. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff and Callie. And I would just like to give congratulations to all of our undergraduate pitches that we saw tonight. It's really inspiring to see classmates and peers creating such amazing ideas. And just to get here to the finals is such an accomplishment. So thank you all for your pitches. And now we will transition to our graduate portion of the evening. Our first pitch will be Cradle by Natalie Poston and Allison Cavacino.
Hi, I'm Natalie. My co-founder Allie and I are excited to tell you about Cradle. More and more of my friends are having babies, and each time I see them struggle with how something so little and adorable can require so much stuff that is quickly grown out of. The more we dug in, we found parents are struggling with 4 things. 1, cost. Parents spend $3,000 per child, but have no guarantee that the gear will work for them. 2, storage. Babies quickly age out of gear, and for many families, it's impossible to store it all. 3, reliability. Getting gear from used marketplaces like Facebook is time consuming, and who knows if it's working, safe, or clean. And 4, sustainability. Millennial parents want to consume less, and baby gear ownership is wasteful. Our solution is Cradle, the flexible and affordable baby gear rental platform that lets parents rent by the week or month. So if the gear doesn't work for your family, it can easily be sent back to us where it's professionally cleaned and inspected with non-toxic ingredients. We'll offer gear that babies quickly age out of in 3 to 6 months that is high-end or too pricey for most parents to purchase outright. And we'll avoid gear with increased liability risk like car seats. Cradle is flexible. Parents can select bundles that include all the gear that they need for a child's development stage, or they can select gear a la carte, all with savings of over 60%. Social impact is at the heart of Cradle, allowing us to live Georgetown's Jesuit values. Cradle gives everyday families increased access to premium gear. The rental model makes Cradle gear 5 times more sustainable because our gear will be loved by multiple families for about 4 years, the useful rental life. Afterwards, we'll sell the gear through our used marketplace. We'll donate what we don't sell to the National Center for Children and Families, further extending the useful life. And gear that can't be sold or donated will be recycled responsibly. While renting baby gear is a new concept, we've already surveyed over 125 potential consumers, and the overwhelming majority would be open to renting baby gear. These surveys validated our analysis of parent frustrations and suggest that Cradle would solve their problems.
We have identified 3 ideal customers for Cradle: Chloe, Elizabeth, and Maya, each with unique values and problems that Cradle can solve. Chloe is a first-time mom. She's an aspirational, busy city girl who is drawn to the perfect parent influencers on Instagram. She's also anxious about being a mom and wants the absolute best for her new baby. Cradle gives her access to the premium high-end gear at a fraction of the cost of ownership and will remove the need for her to sell or donate the gear once she's done using it. Elizabeth is a second-time mom. She's confident and knows that every baby is different and that you really won't know what works until you try it. Cradle gives Elizabeth the variety and flexibility she craves because she can easily switch gear to find the perfect fit without wasting money buying multiple versions of a product. Maya is a diligent, eco-conscious mom. She lives a minimalist lifestyle, shops secondhand, and does tons of research before buying. Cradle gives Maya the peace of mind that she won't be creating new waste and that she'll be able to approach motherhood sustainably. To test demand with these customers, we set up a few test Instagram and Google ads using messaging that appeals to our customers' problem. We received 4 opt-ins from this limited test, which represents a 6% conversion rate of those who visited our website. While this is a limited sample, we feel it suggests strong demand for Cradle. The global market for baby products is $10 billion, growing at a 6% CAGR. Each year in the US, 855,000 babies are born to Chloe's, Elizabeth's, and Maya's. Given the expected average rental spend of about $2,000 per child, we believe we can scale this business to $200 million in the US. As we scale and ramp up to a target utilization of 75% over 5 years, and we expect our payback period to be about 1 year for most products, we believe we can be cash flow positive within 3.5 years. To get started, we plan to pilot Cradle with a small cohort of 5 to 15 customers this summer. We'll need about $4,000 to purchase baby gear. And before putting our first year out on rent, we'll be seeking liability insurance, giving us $2 million of coverage for $600. We'll also spend about $1,000 working with a lawyer to draft appropriate customer terms and conditions. Concurrently with our pilot, we'll also be ramping up our marketing efforts to be in the position to expand after that initial pilot. Together, Natalie and I have diverse and complementary skills. I've spent the last 4 years working in strategy and M&A in the equipment rental industry and have a deep understanding of rental business models, while Natalie currently works in venture capital and prior to that has had 10 years of integrated marketing and PR experience. Together, we are thrilled to leverage our experience to bring Cradle to market. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie and Ali, for your presentation on Cradle. And judges, if you could use this time to get in your scores. And we have another Georgetown Entrepreneurship fact for all of you. Many Hoyapreneurs have gone on to build multi-million-dollar business empires after their time at Georgetown. Notable success stories include Reggie Agarwal of Cvent, Ted Leonsis of Monumental Sports, and Luke Schnofelder of Latch, who is currently taking his company public. So this just goes to show where an entrepreneurial Georgetown education can take you. And as we talk about always at the Entrepreneurship Initiative, this comes down to building this entrepreneurial mindset in all of our students. So we will now screen our second graduate pitch of the evening, which is Narazio Technologies by Daniel Chapman.
Thanks for coming to this talk by Narazio Biotechnology. Stephen Hawking once said that quiet people have the loudest minds, and as you'll find out later, we kind of took him literally. Everybody knows that Stephen Hawking suffered from ALS for over 30 years. One of the components of this disease is called aphasia, which is defined as the loss of the ability to understand, or in his case, and what we'll focus on for the rest of the pitch, is the inability to express speech due to brain damage. Now, there are thousands of other people in the United States alone suffering from ALS who are also suffering from aphasia. But other causes of expressive speech aphasia might be muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy, and stroke, adding up to between 500,000 and 1 million people in the United States alone who are unable to talk properly. Narazio is an idea-stage biotechnology company developing hardware for a brain-computer interface to address this issue. To understand our solution, let's first consider a healthy individual shown on the left. Brain waves generated by the cerebral cortex ultimately represent messages sent through the cranial nerves and spinal cord, shown in green, to the muscles of the face and throat to generate speech. Now, somebody with a neuromuscular disorder who is suffering from aphasia, such as that shown on the right, these cranial nerves and spinal cord are degenerated, leaving these messages trapped inside the person's head like a message in a bottle. Narazio developed a novel brain recording device that will be chronically implanted on the surface of the individual's brain so that we may record these messages, relay them to a local device, and ultimately decode and synthesize speech. Previous solutions to this problem include something like an eye gaze device, which is what Stephen Hawking used, where the device tracks the person's eye movements and allows them to generate speech that way. However, these devices are only able to track speech at a rate of 7 to 40 words per minute, which is starkly lower than that of normal human speech at about 150 words per minute. Furthermore, these devices often require caregiver assistance and they're not very efficient. On the other hand, since we're going directly to the source of this message, Narazio's hardware will be able to restore the normal human speech rate. And given the good Jesuit value of cura personalis, we know that people aren't just a speech rate. We also think that we'll be able to capture things like prosody and tone. And when this is integrated with voice banking technology, we'll be able to restore natural human speech, including things like emotion. Furthermore, we hope to integrate a cloud-based service that will allow our users to remotely send messages to caregivers when they're not currently in the room in case they need help. There are other brain recording devices on the market today, such as Elon Musk's Link, the Stentrode, and the Neural Matrix. However, speech is complex in its representation in the brains, and the highlighted regions above are necessary for speech synthesis. You can see that these devices, since they were designed for something different, are entirely too small for this purpose. On the contrary, Narazio's hardware was designed specifically for speech synthesis, and so we're able to cover all the areas necessary for speech. We validated this idea and made sure that it aligned with a real clinical need through primary research with the NSF I-Core program, where we interviewed dozens of neuromuscular specialists, hospital administrators, and speech pathologists. We also conducted secondary research and have ultimately filed for a provisional patent back in February. Our primary and secondary research revealed that neuromuscular disorders would be the most suitable beachhead market, since from a scientific perspective, these are pretty easy to go after, and these individuals can live for 30 to 40 years. They can hold a job, and they can live a normal life if the appropriate resources are given. There are several other disorders, however, that we have happily in the pipeline that might be technically harder to go after, or just based on the dynamics of the disease. We also think that our device still has applications in applied research for furthering the potential of the brain-computer interface. A recent report on global speech generating devices in 2020 showed that the total addressable market for these such devices will be 388 million by 2026. We think that people with complete aphasia, which are eligible for our device, for the available market will be 160 million, and we think that we can obtain about 100 million of this market. Now, we're coming to you today as an idea stage biotechnology company and our first round of seed funding. We're asking the judges to help us reach our goal of $35,000 to $40,000 so that we can fund a pre-submission meeting, a small animal study, and a full patent submission over the next year or so, after which we hope to go into larger government sources of funding, fund a large animal study, and ultimately partner with a clinical stage biotechnology company so that we can bring our device to market. My co-inventor and I are both highly skilled neurophysiologists with complementing skill sets, and we think that we have the technical expertise to push this device forward. Our second ask for the audience and judges today is arguably more important than the first, and that's for critique, mentorship, and maybe even team members to help us push this device to the market so that together we can change worlds one person at a time.
That was Narazio Biotechnologies by Daniel Chapman. Thank you, Daniel. And now it is time for our fourth Entrepreneurial Excellence Award, the Outstanding Entrepreneurial Leader Awards. And I will now invite David, who is our program manager at Georgetown Entrepreneurship. So take it away. This is David Lang, everyone.
Thanks so much, Dom. I am so pleased to honor Megan Nguyen, Dustin Hartov, Austin Brower, Ariane Price, and Natalie Poston tonight. Megan and Dustin are my interns, and I work with them every week. It is thanks to their work that our department is able to do so much, especially when it comes to communications. Megan has been with us 2 years now, and she is incredible. I'm proud to count her not just amongst my colleagues, but my friends. Dustin has only been with us a short time, but it is thanks to him that our social media presence has been taken to new heights this year, and I'm very grateful to him for his good work. Working with Austin, Ariane, and Natalie was one of the great pleasures of the previous academic year for me. All three of them care deeply about entrepreneurship at Georgetown and creating the best possible environment for new entrepreneurs to thrive here on the Hilltop. Their legacy in the MBA Entrepreneurship and Venture Capital Club will be felt for years to come, and I'm so excited to see where their careers and life takes them after their MBAs. To all 5 of these students, I say congratulations and best of luck out there in the world. You will always have us here rooting for you.
Thank you so much for that, David. And we will now move on to our third graduate pitch of this evening, which is Homemade in DC, which is by Mackenzie Loy, Chidozie Obadegwu, Michael Shapiro, and Lauren Jordan.
Homemade in DC.
Homemade in DC, connecting local businesses to local entrepreneurs. This is the team, and we're really excited to be here today. My name's Mackenzie Loy, and I'm the resident cinnamon roll expert, soon to be cottage food certified. Lauren Jordan has spent the last several years mentoring social entrepreneurs in DC and is our social enterprise expert. And our 2 DC natives, Chido Obadegwu is our finance expert with over 10 years at Fidelity, and Michael Shapiro brings the data analytics. Across varying fields, our team has over 35 years of customer service experience. Homemade in DC is building local wealth through local connections. On the left are a few businesses you might recognize. They're the local businesses that we've connected with over the past few weeks who have expressed interest in sourcing through our platform. And on the right are the local bakers and makers we connected with them. And further to the right is a photo of our first connection. Lee Tivol, executive director at the Potter's House, loved EJ's dark chocolate bundt cake, a family original recipe. Since launching our proof of concept last month, we've generated over $80 in revenue, and we're just getting started. From the beginning, our mission has been to create opportunities for women, people of color, and low-income entrepreneurs. Originally, Homemade in DC was a cottage food incubator and virtual farmers market. We had a strong mission, but no viable path to sustainable revenue. We evolved to become a virtual and physical marketplace with affordable commercial kitchen space and a beautiful retail space in front. And we were planning our first pop-up market and really excited about building this great community but realized this is very expensive and we wanted to build something that was a little bit more easily scaled. So today, Homemade in DC is the go-to local wholesale distributor, connecting local businesses to entrepreneurs and owning the logistics in between. Our focus is on micro chains like Compass Coffee or Sweetgreen, and restaurants and bars where these homemade products are complementary goods. Through our 40+ interviews split between entrepreneurs and local businesses, we heard several common themes. One, businesses want to buy local and have a positive social impact, but we just don't know who to go to. Two, local bakers and makers would like to grow their businesses outside of their personal networks, but lack the tools and connections to do so. And three, businesses are looking for flexibility in ordering and a better ordering system. Homemade in DC addresses these key problems.
Currently, most local businesses order from companies like Cisco. When ordering, they see something like this. One of our customer interviews, Jared of Tailgate, spoke at length about the difficulty of ordering and even seeing your order history. Not to mention, it's hard to sort by who is local, and oftentimes smaller local suppliers can't make it onto these platforms. Here's our vision for Homemade in DC. We want to make a platform that is much more user-friendly. We will put pictures of products and make sure that the customers know just who made it. On the front end, they'll be able to sort by businesses, product, shelf life, and lead time. They'll be able to view the proximity of the food entrepreneur to their business. On the back end, entrepreneurs will be able to easily change their calendar as well as the volume to make sure that our supply can meet our demand. For 25% of the cut, businesses will be able to easily interact with our platform. After sketching this out for Jared, he said he'd love this and would love to be our first customer. Unfortunately, Lee from Potter House beat him to the punch. We see a big market opportunity. While we're starting here in DC with approximately 2,500 local food and beverage businesses, we see rapid expansion to other product categories, cities, regions, and even nationwide. This is just the beginning. We will be working with our mentor, Jeff Dawson, owner of several local bars, including Nanny O'Brien in Cleveland Park. We'll also continue to connect with local organizations like Union Kitchen and the Anacostia Bid. As we make connections between local businesses and entrepreneurs, we will be doing the deliveries ourselves, first in our eco-friendly Priuses, and eventually with a fleet of electric vehicles. We began taking orders a few weeks ago, so if you're feeling a little peckish, we invite you to use this QR code to visit our site. If you're in DC, we'd be happy to connect you with one of our local entrepreneurs. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Mackenzie and Lauren, for your pitch on Homemade in DC. And now let's have a quick look at Georgetown Entrepreneurship fact number 102. Last year, our Entrepreneurship in Residence team actually broke a Georgetown mentorship record by completing over 1,092 hours of student encounters with nearly 800 individual students. And we are on track to have similar success metrics this year. And it is a testament to the incredible diligence and dedication of our Entrepreneurs in Residence team. And we wouldn't be half of the program we are today without their hard work. And we will just give our judges a quick moment to complete the scoring for our previous pitch. And then we will move on to our fourth graduate pitch of the evening, which is Kitchen with a Mission. I did that the first time too. Kitchen with a Mission by Jordan Foley.
Kitchen with a Mission helps military veterans and their spouses start careers in the culinary arts through food truck training. Our menu is as diverse as our staff, and we found that, much like Paul Mitchell salons who employ hairstylists in training, people are happy to visit a pop-up location and purchase food made by aspiring chefs who served their country. We spent all of 2020 learning more about the culinary industry, and now we are introducing our digital and in-person schoolhouse, Kitchen with a Mission, which focuses on culinary training for our veterans and their spouses, while developing them into community leaders. Kitchen with a Mission is vocational training reimagined. In the COVID-19 environment, the culinary industry is struggling. We found that solely relying on sales to customers to train our veterans was not only failing to get them proper kitchen exposure, but saturating local markets to the point where we were sourcing too much food. The idea came to start cooking for those in need in December 2020. Kitchen with a Mission then began to partner with local nonprofits like Nourish Now to provide hundreds of meals to the homeless. The best part of all of this is we are training veterans in commercial kitchen operations while giving back to the community. Through our innovative training program, we are rethinking how we fight food insecurity. Our veterans and military spouses are not only learning valuable restaurant industry skills, they are serving the community. What makes these people special is that service is so woven into their DNA that any vocational training program would be incomplete if it only fed the mind. At Kitchen with a Mission, we are also feeding the soul. By engaging and interacting with communities in need, these veterans and military spouses are continuing their service after their time in the military. This year, we are welcoming our first class of trainees, and we are proud to announce Kitchen with a Mission's inaugural class will be 4 women of color who are veterans and military spouses from Colombia, Iraq, and are Mexican and African American. These women will lead the charge this summer, honing their culinary skills and gaining confidence in their techniques while giving back. These women will all strive to become food truck owners in the DMV and have started their journey with us. This group, like the many veterans and military spouses to follow them, are completing a 5-step process that combines training with service. Our proprietary curriculum, developed in 2020, includes self-paced digital training that results in National Restaurant Association certification. The continuation of the program results in more stackable certifications in restaurant management. Upon completion of the digital training, the student enters a program where they prepare hundreds of meals for those in need out of our brick-and-mortar kitchen. Following their in-kitchen training, our students move to the food truck to learn the ins and outs of the mobile food industry. The best part about this stage is we get to take the truck directly to the community in need to prepare piping hot and fresh restaurant-quality meals. We also provide free business training tools for our veterans and military spouses through partnerships with other nonprofits, like Maryland's Project Opportunity, to make sure they not only know how to cook, but also how to make a profit for their future business venture. Kitchen with a Mission's culinary training culminates with the student being tasked with sourcing and creating a menu for 200 meals to a local community. The entire system requires a tuition and supplies fee of only $2,000. This fee, for veterans, can be covered through vocational training grants or even local nonprofits assisting with rehabilitation of vulnerable populations. We plan to put 12 veterans and military spouses through this system during the summer and will continue to scale up. We are currently working on pathways to funding through the GI Bill, Voc Rehab, and current nonprofit funding sources at the state level that have already agreed to fund tuition. Just one truck will allow Kitchen with a Mission to train 40 veterans and produce 7,000 meals annually. Each set of meals, about 200, is sponsored by a local company at $5 per meal. With sponsors already lined up, Kitchen with a Mission stands to produce $35,000 in revenue from meal sponsorships and $40,000 in tuition in just 1 year. The goal of this program is to scale and expand to different areas of the DMV while using our competitive advantage of using food trucks to visit food insecure locations. Kitchen with a Mission's focus on service learning makes it a truly unique concept, and a win in this competition would allow us to put a down payment on an additional food truck for our fleet, doubling our outreach. Kitchen with a Mission is a win-win-win. It trains veterans and their spouses in the culinary arts to become future business owners while giving back to the community. We are a Georgetown Spirit nonprofit and believe in the concept of cura personalis. Veterans are not only honing their culinary skills through our program, they are lifting up the whole community.
Thank you, Jordan, for your pitch on Kitchen with a Mission. And it is a good thing that we only have 2 pitches left this evening because I'm now feeling famished after that one. So it is now time for our 5th and final Entrepreneurial Excellence Award. And I now welcome David back to the screen to present the Graduate Entrepreneur of the Year Award.
Thank you very much, Dom. Jenny Nwokoye is a force of nature. From running her own startup, making medical care accessible throughout mobile devices in Nigeria, to being the president of the SES Entrepreneurship Club, working with Amazon Web Services, there isn't a challenge out there that Jenny can't tackle. Jenny is deeply passionate about entrepreneurship at Georgetown and the wonderful places it can take you. It has been a pleasure to work alongside Jenny and to watch her work germinate and grow over these last 2 years, both here at Georgetown and out in the world with Clafia. I know that wherever she ends up, she will thrive as she has in every environment she's been in thus far, and it is my pleasure to honor her this evening. Congratulations, Jenny.
Thank you, David. This personal touch really really shows just the character of all of our award recipients tonight and everyone a part of the entrepreneurship programs at Georgetown. So congratulations to Jenny. And we will now screen our 5th graduate pitch of this evening, which is Budeli by Carlos Bayo, Jin-Sung Bok, and Michael Pollinger.
Hello, judges, and thank you so much for your time. On this team, we have Jin-Sung Bok, Michael Pollinger, and myself, Carlos Bayo, and we're Budeli, the property tech SaaS solution, providing free food delivery for tenants. There's a simple problem, and everyone knows it. Food delivery is too expensive, and this is where we started. And from this very problem statement, our team came to discover that there's a value in providing a property tech amenity that allows apartment complexes to provide free delivery in bulk format to their tenants. And so far, we have been able to secure 7 written commitments to review our subscription-based model from the locations and logos below. So let's start at the beginning. I'm sure many of you have ordered via DoorDash or Uber Eats at some point, but I just want to take 20 seconds to walk us through the process to understand the costs. So Jersey Mike's, you decide you want a $10 sandwich for dinner. It's a $1.49 delivery fee. Seems fair enough. When you go to checkout, you see that there's a $3 tip, that delivery fee again, then a $2.50 service fee. So the cost of the sandwich with taxes is $11. But the cost of the sandwich with delivery associated costs is $18. So an overall price increase of 63%. So we all can understand that this is an expensive treat. But the pandemic created a jump in US food delivery to 26 billion. This is no longer a one-off novelty for infrequent use, but a new consistent consumer behavior. As we scale in food delivery, it should make sense that the overall cost for the user should go down. But when you step back and think about it, the current delivery model is a pretty black tie service. On a whim, you can go to your phone and command someone to fetch a sandwich in a private car. At its core, that's why delivery is so expensive. When I, personally, Carlos Bayo, want to go into DC, which is located 20 minutes away, I take the metro. Yet my sandwich, located 20 minutes away, gets the luxury of a private chauffeur. And that has led us to pursue a carpooling model to cut those costs because my sandwich doesn't need a private car. Uber Eats and DoorDash have built their model on a large portfolio of options for immediate on-demand service. Budeli aims to carpool orders and eliminate hefty delivery fees. Using Jersey Mike's example again, that hefty additional cost is the burden of one individual. But what if those costs could be shared among 20 different individuals ordering from the same place? That's the unit economics model. But now we have to figure out the best way to get it to the masses. So we started with a large grouping of price-conscious individuals. University students, of course. Through customer verification, we found that they are on a tight budget, yet they order a lot of food to avoid the cafeteria. But then we uncovered that almost all universities have non-compete contracts with existing food service companies, so we can't work with them to solve this problem. We then moved on to young professionals in apartment complexes and discovered the exact same pain points. But during that process, we also discovered that food amenities in apartment complexes are lacking. There's a current war over amenities for property managers and building owners to provide additional value to their tenants. And that's when everything clicked.
And we came up with Budeli, the new tenant experience for property managers to provide food delivery with no fees, tips, or surcharges. Hi there, I'm Jin-Sung Bok, CFO and co-founder of Budeli, and I'd like to take a moment to explain our business to you. So here's how the whole thing works. When a building subscribes to the Budelli service, residents are notified of weekly meal delivery options from Budelli via email and push notifications. Residents then use the Budelli platform to place their orders by the stated cutoff times, paying for the meal, taxes, but nothing else. When the orders are collected, the Budelli drivers will deliver all the orders at once at the building's stated delivery time, and the orders will be dropped off at a branded shelving unit in the lobby where they are ready for pickup. None of this is very meaningful, though, without the numbers to back it up, and that's where I come in. Based off of one trial delivery made right here at Georgetown University, we've extrapolated a basic idea of what we believe to be our monthly profit, and by all accounts, we've got a profitable model. The next real step from here is to expand our physical infrastructure and coordinate operations through a web-based portal. Now that's going to involve a lot of things: software maintenance, shelving units, sales support, the list goes on. But one thing's for sure: if we want to expand further, it'll take a significant investment of capital. And that is why we are seeking $25,000. With your help, we're hoping to make Budelli what it should be. This has been Budelli. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you will be a part of our journey too.
That was Budelli by Carlos Bello, Jin-Sung Bak, and Michael Pollinger. And now for our final fact, Georgetown Entrepreneurship fact number 12. Our weekly newsletter, The Hoyapreneur, is the single best way to keep up to date with everything Georgetown Entrepreneurship. Sign up on our homepage, which is eship.georgetown.edu, to have upcoming events, internship opportunities, entrepreneurial news, and more sent to your inbox every Thursday evening. And I cannot more highly recommend this letter if you want to make sure you will never miss a thing that's going on with any of our programs. It really is the best source of information. And I know as a Georgetown student, we are addicted to checking our email mailboxes. So if you are not already signed up for the newsletter, click that link and do it right now. And now we will have our final graduate pitch of this evening, which is MMCs by Nathaniel Gilman.
Hi, my name is Nate Gilman, and I'm one of the co-founders of MMCs. Have any of you ever tried to do your taxes on your own just by reading the Code of Federal Regulations? No, that would be a waste of your time. Instead, you use a tax software such as TurboTax to make the process really simple and efficient. The men and women who contribute over $150 billion to the US economy by transporting America's goods and people by sea are expected to read the Code of Federal Regulations and figure out on their own how to maintain the licenses they need to work and progress in their careers. I personally felt this pain, both growing up in a maritime family and then becoming an active duty service member, where I got to drive some of the most technically advanced ships on Earth. I received some of the best maritime training, and I spent years at sea. And over time, I gathered lots of maritime documents. Those are mine. I decided I should figure out how to get a US Coast Guard license. And it was only then that I really understood how frustrating of a process it is. And it turns out I was not alone. We've conducted over 200 customer interviews to help us understand the right pain points to solve for mariners. And what we learned is that just about everyone, from seasoned professionals all the way to people that are just entering the industry, are uncomfortable with the paperwork process. Captain Quebec, the CEO of Rhode Island's Maritime Workforce Development Program, says at best, the process is painful. At worst, the process disenfranchises communities. This means a small paperwork process that's really frustrating and complex is the only thing standing between a person and a well-paying job. Keeping mariners' frustrations in mind, we began creating MMCs. MMCs is a cloud-based software as a service that we designed to automate the manual task of obtaining, tracking, and renewing US Coast Guard credentials. MMCs creates perfect US Coast Guard applications while eliminating paperwork processing errors and delivering meaningful merchant mariner career guidance. This means MMCs turns this pile of paperwork into actionable and safe data in the cloud that a mariner can use to make sure they always have the right licenses they need to work. Currently in the US, there's 225,000 mariners who are required to renew their license every 5 years. There is a potential for future growth with the 4.5 million recreational boaters and 1.2 commercial fishermen in the US who easily qualify for these licenses, but they're pretty intimidated by the paperwork process. We launched MMCs as a soft launch on March 15th, and we currently have 35 paying users and over 150 beta users on the site. Our models show an expected revenue of $4.5 million in 2023, with an expected TLV of $600 per customer and a 9-to-1 revenue to cost ratio. We're really proud to be a lifestyle business and focus on solving one problem and solving it better than anyone else to make sure we maintain that focus for mariners. Our go-to market strategy relies on the one golden rule of seafarers: we like to talk. This is great for a maritime company as long as they have thick skin and a great product that actually helps mariners. We have gotten some really great press from Captain and Waterways Journal in the last couple of weeks. I do know what you're saying though. This maritime startup sounds great, but what does any of this have to do with Georgetown's Jesuit values? We believe that MMC's built a more just world by supporting professional mariners who are great at driving ships, but not experts at bureaucratic paperwork. With MMCs, mariners now know where all of their documents are. When it's time to renew, it's painless and easy. We provide peace of mind, allowing them to focus on the most important job they have: driving boats. Because MMC calculates sea time and identifies opportunities for advancement, mariners are alerted when they can upgrade for their licenses, which is pretty incredible. An example of this is a few days ago, we helped someone upgrade with just some simple paperwork, which will make him over $10,000 next year. He's held that same license for 10 years, and he's been eligible to upgrade for the last 8, but no one was there to help him. We're proud that MMCs directly empowers the current and next generation of maritime professionals to always have the right licenses they need to work and progress in their careers. As luck would have it, I have an amazing group of friends who are also deeply connected to the maritime community. We're working together to turn this idea into a reality. Together, we're 2 ship captains, a GIS and data specialist, 2 AML professionals, a front-end development expert, a retired Coast Guard warrant officer, an expert at government relations, and a rocket scientist. Our team has the deep institutional knowledge to continue developing our product and supporting merchant mariners, but we have one very specific ask. We're looking for mentors who are experienced with B2C SaaS solutions that would be willing to provide guidance as we're planning our larger launch in June. Again, I'm Nate Gilman from MMCs, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nate, for your wonderful presentation on MMCs. Judges, just a quick reminder to finish submitting your scores for the pitches this evening. And that actually concludes the pitching portion of this evening. I hope you all enjoyed watching them as much as I did. And it's very clear how each of these pitches made it to our final round. But truly, you all have amazing ventures that you're taking to the next level. And this is really incredible to see. And now is my favorite part of the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Challenge, which is the People's Choice Awards. So if you could all take out your phone and text the number that we have here on the screen with the number associated to your favorite pitch. So that number 1 through 12, if you could text it to that 908 phone number. And again, please text only that number, not the name of the venture. And I will now pass the mic over to Jeff.
All right, let's leave this screen up here for a minute while people take their time to vote. The People's Choice Award, I think it's an extra $2,000 to whichever team wins. So, so please do take a moment to vote for whichever team you thought was the best, or whichever team solicited and lobbied for your vote based on who your friends are. However your vote was obtained, please put it in there. So as that voting continues here, I am going to introduce our next speaker, who is going to share a little bit about our special prize for tonight. And we mentioned at the outset that AppDrop is a company that offers services for student entrepreneurs, and I'll let our speaker tell you more about it, specifically what that is. But I'll tell you, Kamar Mack is one of the all-time great Georgetown entrepreneurship stories. Kamar came to Georgetown as a freshman from Memphis, Tennessee. As a freshman, he won one of our rocket pitch competitions, has been engaged in our entrepreneurship program ever since. He also spent a year as the president of the student body of Georgetown. I believe he did that as a sophomore. So just an incredible leader, incredible entrepreneur. He graduated with a degree in computer science and has now launched a company with a fellow Georgetown alum called AppDrop, and they recently completed our Georgetown Startup Accelerator. Their company is taking off. His mission is to help student entrepreneurs to solve some of the problems that he ran into when he was a student entrepreneur. So with that, I will turn it over to Kamar Mack, co-founder and CEO of AppDrop. Go, Kamar.
Thanks so much for that great intro, Jeff. Yeah, it's for me, it's definitely I mean, it's surreal to come full circle and to be able to just speak in front of GEC today. And just one funny story, like from that rocket pitch competition freshman year, I remember it so well because I pulled up wearing rocket socks, and I think that was part of the reason why we just kind of stood out and were able to do well in that competition. But yeah, overall, I mean, I loved every single pitch today. Just a huge shout out to all the founders and just the wide variety of ideas today. And it's just really, it's always compelling to see what drives people. So yeah, as Jeff mentioned, I'm the co-founder and CEO of AppDrop. Our mission is simple. It's really to make sure that there's never another college student who says, I have this great app idea, but I don't know how to code. It was something that stifled my co-founder and me back at Georgetown. We had this amazing idea for something that would tear up the cryptocurrency space. But at the time, I didn't have the programming chops to bring the app to life. And my co-founder, he studied liberal arts. So he definitely didn't have the programming chops to bring it to life. And so, you know, as typical, as this typically happens, in our case, we ended up just burning through all of our cash trying to outsource our way to market. And from that experience, we learned one of the hard truths of getting really stunning mobile apps to market. It's a really difficult, lengthy, and expensive process. And so at AppDrop, we're tackling this problem by positioning our no-code tools as an easy way to both design, launch, and distribute your app. And so AppDrop automates a lot of the difficult things that we've incubated in-house. So thus far, we've released three mobile apps on both the iOS and Android store for various different use cases. So we've hit things like streaming, we've hit things like e-commerce, and this spring we're releasing our beta app builder. And so with 0 lines of code, you can create a stunning e-commerce store. And so for today, it's an excellent opportunity for us to reach back into Georgetown and essentially extend both our brain trust to help you incubate your ideas and also to help you get your mobile app to market. And so that's what today's AppDrop prize is. And yeah, it's just a really cool, surreal moment for me. So thank you all for inviting AppDrop and allowing us to take part in this amazing competition.
Awesome. Thanks, Kamar. All right. So with that, we are still putting together the final calculations. We appreciate the work that our judges have been doing. I know as an observer, I know I would have a hard time picking the best team out of what we saw tonight. My team tells me that there's going to be a couple more minutes at least before we have our finals. I am going to present one of our awards tonight. It's called the Pelton Award. It is the Pelton Prize provided by Joe Pelton, a wonderful Georgetown alum. And Mr. Pelton, or Dr. Pelton, I believe, has created this award to specifically honor a student entrepreneur who's focused on environmental solutions. And so we have a special judging process for that award, and we have selected the winner of that award. And this year's winner, and we'll have an image of the check here coming up in a couple of minutes. But the winner is, hold on a second, let me pull up my list here. I remember the company. Hold on, let me make sure I get the names all right. It is Convenient Compost by Gracie Owen. So we congratulate Gracie on winning the Pelton Award for 2021. Thank you, Gracie. If you remember, that was a business that had the composting bag. So that has the potential to make a huge impact on environmental solutions. So thank you so much, Gracie, for that. All right, I think we're ready now to announce some more of our winners. So there you go. You can see Convenient Compost gets the $1,000 Pelton Environmental Prize. I'm now going to turn over to Dom to announce our other prize winners. And by the way, thanks, Dom, for all you've done tonight as an MC. Back to you.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. And next for the People's Choice Award, which was voted on by our audience. And there's no name on it. We'll just wait 1 second till we get the right slides up. And the People's Choice Award goes to Cradle by Natalie Poston and Allison Cavacino. Congratulations to you both.
So I think we're ready to announce the finalists, right? These are the teams that made it to the finals but did not get one of the top 2 prizes. So Dom, you want to read them off?
Absolutely. So our Georgetown Entrepreneurship Challenge finalists, so all of the ventures that we saw tonight, Budelli, Kitchen with a Mission, Re-Philanthropy, Homemade in DC, College Deposit Insurance, Charting History, Merged Med, and Narazio Biotechnologies. These 8 startups will all receive $1,000 checks to go towards their businesses. And we thank them all for joining us this evening and sharing their ideas and letting us all know what they're going to do in the future with their businesses. So congratulations to each of you.
Yeah, congratulations. I'll just throw in here the that pitch competitions are not a perfect science, right? And history has shown us that the teams that win are not always the teams that end up being the best companies. So we do encourage everyone who participated in this year's competition, including the finalists that were just mentioned, keep building an amazing business, right? Whatever you win tonight or don't win should not be the end of your journey. Okay, back to you, Dom.
We will now give out the prize from AppDrop. Kamar was here speaking on his company AppDrop, and they have provided a fund for the next prize, which will go to Convenient Compost by Gracie Owen. She will receive $20,000 for her composting venture, which will absolutely give her the means to take it to the next level. So this is really exciting to see. Congratulations, Gracie. And thank you, Kamar, for making this happen.
That's, yeah, just to clarify, $20,000 is not cash in this case. It's $20,000 worth of tech services credit. AppDrop will help build that app for Gracie and Convenient Compost. So congratulations to Gracie. Okay, thanks, Don.
Well, Gracie will absolutely now have the resources. So thank you so much, Kamar. And now for our undergraduate second place prize.
It's $2,500.
Act Worldly by Betsy Ratliff and Nora Bolster. Congratulations to you both.
Awesome. Congratulations to the Act Worldly team.
And for our graduate second place prize, this will go to MMCs by Nate Gilman. Congratulations, Nate.
Way to go, Nate. Solve the problem for all those maritime officials. That's great.
And now for our undergraduate grand prize. So we have an undergraduate grand prize and a graduate grand prize. And this one will go to Convenient Compost by Gracie Owen. Congratulations, Gracie. So Jeff, to clarify, this time it is $10,000, right?
This is cash money. That's right.
Cash money for Gracie. So congratulations, Gracie. It's clear that your venture is looking really, really good. So congratulations to you.
Way to go, Gracie.
And for our last prize of the night, our graduate grand prize, this will go to Cradle by Natalie Poston and Allison Cavacino for a check of $10,000. So congratulations, Cradle, and congratulations to all of our winners of this evening. All of these pitches have been absolutely incredible to watch. And it is so amazing to see that you guys will all receive some form of prize to put into your venture. And we can't wait to see that what happens next with each of your companies. So thank you so much for being with us. I'll pass it back to Jeff for some concluding remarks. Thanks, Jeff.
Well, Dominic, thank you so much for your job tonight. What an amazing job as our MC. Thanks for bringing it home. We really appreciate that. To all of our teams, congrats. How exciting. I'm excited to see what you all do with your entrepreneurial passions and dreams. It is always reinvigorating for me to hear Georgetown students who are using entrepreneurship to solve problems in the world, creating value. You guys are going to go out and create the future. We're going to be here to support you. In addition to winning whatever prize money you got tonight, we're here with mentorship, incubator programs, all kinds of ways, whatever we can do to help. We love Georgetown students developing that entrepreneurial spirit and then go out in the world and make a difference. So with that, we're going to conclude our event tonight. I want to thank our judges, thank AppDrop and other contributors to the program. This is our kind of our ceremonial into the academic year, even though we have a few more events kind of coming up. But I want to thank all the students, all the faculty, all the EIRs, my team, including Ben, Callie, and David, all our student workers. It's been a great year for Georgetown Entrepreneurship. The pandemic has taught all of us what it's like to deal with disruption and change. It's creating opportunities. Go out there and find a way to make the world better. Everybody, the world needs more entrepreneurs. So thanks for being here tonight. Good luck. We hope to see you soon at another Georgetown Entrepreneurship event.
Hoya Sox, everyone.